What's going on, guys? Dan from Spare Tire Running. Episode 1 of Martian Marathon. This is going to be conversations after some training, either running, lifting, or whatnot, in the car afterwards, reflecting back on maybe the last couple days, the last day and a half, where I'm at in my training, what I'm doing for my training, and how I'm feeling, because April whatever is going to come super quick. So what are my expectations for the Martian Marathon? Very low expectations right now. Besides finishing it, I do have some time frame. Now, I'm a slow runner. If you're new to this channel, you're new to the Spare Tire Runner, we're big guys. We started off with a group of high school athletes. Some of us were cross-country runners, but we were all involved in sports. Life got a hold of us. For some of us was adulthood, fatherhood, beerhood, drinking, and so forth. And we decided about 10 years ago to start running some races. And because of life, what happens, I'm still pushing forward with this mentality that we all still have, and hopefully one day the crew gets back together, that every step counts. Now, in my journey as a high school athlete, I was a pretty good, above average athlete, ran cross country, wrestled, and ran track. Went on to college, wrestled in college. And that's when my life started turning around. One, I was tired of cutting weight for wrestling. If you don't believe me, you probably don't believe me. When I started high school, I wrestled 103, only weighing 98 pounds. I graduated high school wrestling 125 pounds. Even as a senior in college, I wrestled 197, but I weighed 180. And that was because, again, I kind of lost the love for wrestling a little bit, and that kind of also talks about running a little bit too, because I was tired of running a little bit too for a while there. And just because of life, working a lot of hours, eating bad, drinking a lot of beer, staying up late, not having good habits, my weight has fluctuated and bloomed up and down over the last 10 years, but even before that. At my heaviest, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, at my heaviest I was at 280 pounds. I am now less than that. Last year I had a goal weight of 240 pounds. I met that back in September and thought, that's good. I had my marathon first weekend of October, but my life changed again a little bit in October. I have a podcast that's running my journey that talks a little bit about it, but in short, besides being super busy school-wise, I'm a principal by day. My mom we found out that my mom has brain cancer, and she's doing marvelous, and she's fighting very hard. But my brain, my mindset, my mental health took a toll on me. And then came into Christmas time, and I don't know, I just get busy and super busy. And then once we get on break, we went down and visit my mom and my family. But then when we got back from Texas, I got sick, and usually I do get sick around Christmas time. And so then it's kind of like, okay, January comes again, let's start this effort again. And I kind of build it up, fall down, build it up, fall down. And so what I'm trying to do this year, because last year Lakefront Marathon in Milwaukee was my big race, and that's what my whole year was all around, was trying to run that race and be ready to run that race. So what I'm doing this year is running the marathon, the Martian Marathon. This is why episode 1 in April, so that I have this big goal, big motivator to, I need to get my butt in gear, because I only got a couple months to get ready to be able to complete that, and then do something else this summer. So then once that's done, I have another goal. I'm still looking into that summer race that I want. And then I want to sprinkle in some 5Ks, because one of my goals this year is last year is to run a PR, my adulthood PR in the 5K. So this will be my 4th marathon. So I ran 3 marathons before. I ran the Detroit Free Press Marathon. If you have never run that marathon, I highly suggest you run it. It's a race that goes from Detroit into Windsor, Canada, across the Ambassador Bridge, and then comes back under the Detroit River. You are in a tunnel. Water's above you, back into Detroit, and then you finish it up in Detroit. To me, it was a grueling race. It was a tough race, and I probably wasn't prepared for it as much as I should have been. And again, I'm not a fast runner, so don't come here looking for speed tactics. I'm here that every step counts. You put your mind to it. We're going to fight these demons inside our head so that we can accomplish these things. But I finished the Detroit Free Press Marathon in 6.5 hours. It took me about half an hour, so really 7 hours from when the time the gun went off, because it took about half an hour, 40 minutes for my wave to actually get to the starting line. Then I ran the Grand Rapids Marathon. So that was in 2017. 2018, I ran the Grand Rapids Marathon. Beautiful course, nice, pretty flat for the most part. Great support, great crew. Like the race director is an amazing guy. I wish and I hope to get back to that race at some point in the future. And I ran that in 5.5 hours. So in 1 year, I took an hour off of my time, which you're probably thinking, well, when you're running that slow, it's not that hard. But somebody my size, it is tough. It is tough. Try to be on your feet for 5.5 hours. It can be tough. Then I didn't run any. I ran a couple races here and there through the years, but then I was trying to do an ultra, and I failed a couple times at that. I had to cut one short. One I missed a time off, whatchamacallit, clock. So last year or 2 years ago, I decided I'm going to do the Lakefront Marathon. It's in Milwaukee. I lived in Milwaukee for college, in Milwaukee area for college. So I thought, let's do that. The old course at the time, the course used to ran through my college university driveways. So I thought that would be kind of cool. They were doing construction, so then they were going to change the race and try to do it all downtown area of Milwaukee, which I still thought was cool, and it did. Well, that year the race actually they couldn't do it, that some of the permits didn't come through because there was a bunch of construction and so forth. So the race was actually canceled, and then was redone this past October. I did it in 6 hours. My goal was 5.5 hours again. And I'll tell you this, the Grand Rapids Marathon, let's start with the Grand Rapids Marathon. The first 15 miles, I felt great for me. I was running smooth, didn't feel anything, and then I hit that wall after that. For the Lakefront Marathon, it was the first half of the race, I was feeling fine. I had to go to the bathroom, and the race, it was starting to get hot out. Race did an amazing job having extra water, ice out for us and stuff. But every porta potty at every rest stop or aid station, there was a line, and I did not want to stop that long because I was afraid of the cutoff times. Because there was a Holm Bridge. It's a huge bridge in Milwaukee. You had to get back on. We actually ran that bridge twice. You had to get back on that bridge at a certain time frame because of traffic purposes. So I finally kept going, but my pace suffered until I found it. And then as soon as I stopped to use the restroom, my quads started locking up, my calves started locking up a little bit, so I hit that wall a little bit. And so then I went on a run walk kind of push to finish that race, but I still finished it. It felt great, even though I couldn't walk for a while after that race. So that comes to Martian Marathon. Again, this is my race. This is what this series is all about, is how am I doing? This is the backstory. I gave you episode 1, is all this backstory where I'm at. I'm an ex-athlete. I found the love of running once again, and I want to push myself to limits that I don't think is possible. And partly because I want to prove to myself, I want to prove to my kids, I want to prove to other people that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. But I also want to battle these demons inside my head. Not enough people talk about mental health, especially for men. And that's one of the things that Every Step Counts really in the Spare Tire running community really wants to know, that you're not alone out there. We're all fighting demons, and the best way to fight those demons is to get out and move, get out and run, get out and lift weights, and so forth. So one of my newest, kind of in the last 2 years, hero that I've been watching and following along on YouTube and stuff is Nick Bear. BPN is his company. Go one more is his motto, and it's amazing to see a guy, as he claims himself, as a hybrid athlete. He's a professional, like almost a professional weightlifter, plus an amazing runner, and that's kind of where I want to get to. I've always loved lifting weights, and I don't want to lose that. I shout out my boy Goku Runner too. He's a big boy like me, that he's strong as strong. I mean, that boy is strong, but he's also a good runner, and he dedicates himself for running too. So check him out as well. But I want to be able to do stuff that I love. And I love getting out there and running during races. I love the community that runners have. I have met so many wonderful people and have made some good friends through the running community. I'm honored that this year that I'm an Ultra Aspire athlete. Ultra Aspire is a company that makes hydration packs. They make lights for headlamps, or they have some on your waist. They have handheld bottles and so forth. Check them out. Amazing company. And the reason, I'm a loyal type of person. I want to support companies that I find that understand who I am as a runner. And the reason I do all this stuff, I have a podcast, I make these shorts, I make these longer videos, is, is there a dream of making some money someday? That would be amazing. That would be awesome. But I want people like me who think they're too big to run, or who think they're too slow to run, to know not everybody is like these amazing professional runners out there. And sometimes I love them all. I love watching their videos, and I learn a lot from watching some of the best runners out there. Sage Canaday is one of my favorite YouTubers. Seth James Damore is another one of my favorite YouTubers. I learn a lot from Kofu. Is another one, but they don't understand really what I am about, or people like me who struggle with maybe they have some of their own struggles, but struggle with weight, maybe struggle with finding time to train, struggle with putting in a lot of effort and not always seeing the results, or maybe not seeing the results fast enough, and that battles everything out. So I'm here for you guys. This marathon training block, which has started, is going to be a quick training block. I mean, April's not that far away, but I believe I can do some amazing things in this time, and I'm finding my love again and again. I'm getting knocked down, but I'm getting back up and pushing forward. And I want you guys to push forward. If you get knocked down, stand back up and take one step and then another. Just keep going. One more. Go one more, as Nick Bear says. He also has a brick by brick foundation that, every time you're doing something, you're laying down some bricks. And Seth Damore has turned the doorknob, butter that bread. Everything builds up to everything. You guys can do it, and I'm here for you to do it. I'm here with you to do it. If you need help, if you need some coaching, I would love to sit down and talk with you guys. I would love to help out wherever possible. Even if I have some coaching fees and stuff, I can even waive that all off. I want everybody out there in the world to fall in love with running, not because it's a fun sport, because it is, but it's for everybody. There's not one person in this world cannot go out and run, cannot go out and enjoy the trails, even if you feel like your run is a walk. Guys, join me on this journey. It's going to be an amazing journey, and I want to take you with me. I'll check in here and there to see how my training going. Starting this week has been, starting last week, going into this week as my first week of training for this marathon block. I've been taking it slow. I don't want to overdo anything this first few weeks, just running a couple miles, putting extra walking time in on the treadmill. And I'll take you all through this step by step with you guys if you need it. Really, it's just trying to get these legs to move again and to turn over again before I start working on extra endurance and extra speed and so forth. Some of the off training things that I do as well is I play basketball as much as I can, at least weekly, depending on how many guys show up. Usually I'm also playing soccer once a week. This season, which is about in 8 weeks, I have to take off because my youngest son has basketball games on Friday night. But usually I'm playing basketball Thursday nights, soccer Friday nights, and then all my running in between there, and try and get some biking in. As it's here in Detroit area, it's starting to get cold. It's supposed to be 8 degrees out this weekend. So I have moved into my garage, into my Zwift training, which again, I'm not made of money. I have to wear shoes for a long time, and that sometimes not the greatest. My Zwift setup is a dumb trainer with a hand-me-down bike. I'm so grateful for the hand-me-down bike, even if I call it my junk bike. But it was like a Walmart bike. It has done its job to keep me moving. So I'm so grateful for my brother from another mother who donated me that bike. But I would love to get a official setup someday. So with that, guys, subscribe if you're not. Follow along this journey. Let's see how far we can go in a couple months. Take care. Every step counts.